If you guys are looking to buy or sell any of your FIFA 23 Ultimate Team coins in preparation for Team of the Season, check out u4gm.com and use code ELITE at checkout. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. My name is Sean, aka Elite, and today we're talking Bundesliga Team of the Season and our TOTS swaps program, which of course is giving great rewards as we get through the season. And they're starting to give more of these 4,000 XP rewards for some of the more simple things and objectives like winning 8 or playing 15 matches, which most of us do each week in Just FUT Champions, so it's an easy way to rack up some XP. Now, if you guys have kept up with all of the XP, I'm lagging a little bit behind, you should already be past level 20, getting closer to level 25, which gives you a 1 of 3 90 plus eFigs Team of the Season or Team of the Season Moments card. And if you haven't seen a lot of people open this yet, so many of them have Team of the Season Rodrigo, Reece James's honorable mention card, or moments card, excuse me, and the Alexis Sanchez TOTS card. Those three seem to be the most common. So many people have gotten themselves a Rodrigo Team of the Season card to the point where he is dropping in price on the market, which is pretty insane to think that some sort of reward out of objectives is now having an insane impact on the actual market. But if you take a look right here and look at Rodrigo's graph over the course of the last couple of days, since people have been able to get the Rodrigo out of this 90 plus eFigs TOTS player pick, he went from 1.75 million down to 1.45 million, a drop of 300,000 coins. He's not the only one either. Alexis Sanchez has been a very, very popular pick. And his card, as you guys can see, has also dropped down a lot. He went from about 950,000 coins, getting all the way down to 800,000 coins. Now, today he has bounced back up, and I'm expecting Rodrigo to probably follow that very shortly. Rodrigo's still kind of low. I think there's a rebound due for Rodrigo at 1.45 million. I think he'll be over 1.5 million today by the end of the day easily, and maybe even higher where you can make yourself some profit. So keep an eye on his card, and keep an eye on any of those guys that were getting shown so much in that 1 of 3 90 plus player pick. There were so many good pulls from that. I saw just so many cards worth over $1 million or worth over 800,000 coins getting chosen from that. So I'm excited to open it. And ever since Bundesliga has been released, of course, that adds a ton of new cards to the pick, but they still seem juiced. And Mane has actually been a popular moments card popping up in that player pick. So if you get to level 20, I would say that is definitely the go-to for that level. However, at level 15, we got a choice between the Caicedo card, which is a pretty good card, and I'm running a Premier League squad right now. However, the next choice was to get a 83 plus times 15 pack, and that's what I chose, especially because Team of the Season Bundesliga is so good. And of course, I'm a Dortmund fan, so I'd like to get myself that Marco Reus. He's my favorite player of all time. So I want to get that SBC. I want to get the fodder to do that SBC, but I'd also like to give a crack at packing Bellingham, Brandt, Schlotterbeck, Kobel, etc., and any of these big cards that are in Team of the Season right now. So I'm going to open up that 15 plus 83 pack here in a second, but let's talk about this Team of the Season, guys. We have got so many juiced cards in this promo. We've got De Ligt over 2 million coins. We've got Nkunku over 7 million. We've got Bellingham over 8 million. Diaby is up at about 800k. Goretzka and Mane are in the millions. And a couple other cards like Davies and and Musiala, can't forget him. He's up in the millions as well. But a lot of great cards in this promo. And so the guaranteed Bundesliga pack is going to be exciting. Now, of course, most of us are probably going to end up getting Gregor Kobel, or we're going to end up getting Hoffman or Füllkrug. But it does have a very high ceiling and a lot of cards that we could get out of that guaranteed pack later this week that are going to be very, very good, which means that they're probably going to require some high-rated fodder once again in that SBC. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's rip this 1583 plus players pack. Give me a blue. It is a blue. Show me England. Ooh. That is not what we are looking for. It is an EFL TOTS. I forgot those were in packs still, to be honest. But at least I've already used him in an SBC. It's a 91 rated fodder card. But how many 83s did I get? Man, I got like 8 or 9 83 rated cards in that pack. Only 2 cards above 84, but at least we did get blue. It could have been worse. I cannot complain. Now, I just mentioned the fodder cards. A lot of us still have some fodder that we're waiting to go back up. And to be honest, I don't think we're going to see a skyrocket in price anytime soon. That's going to come more so towards Ultimate Team of the Season, which is still about 3 or maybe even 4 weeks away. I think it'll probably be about 3 weeks away. We're going to get through the 5 main leagues. We've already done Premier League. We're in Bundesliga right now, which means that we've got a week of Serie A, a week of La Liga, a week of Ligue 1, and during those promos, they're going to drop the other leagues as well, like the EFL and the Eredivisie that we've already seen. So after those 5 weeks, we're probably going to see Ultimate Team of the Season. And that is normally when the fodder cards start to skyrocket, and especially as Team of the Season ends, it skyrockets. So in the meantime, we're seeing a really, really low market, but that doesn't mean that there aren't times where they spike up a lot. And we're going to see that again this week, especially with how low fodder has gotten. We're going to see a couple of opportunities for those to go up. And the first one actually comes from a leaked SBC, a leaked pack that we already have, which is the 90 plus ... Doesn't even have a title yet. It's probably going to come a little later in this weekend, or possibly at the beginning of next week, Monday, Tuesday. But it contains a Prime icon, a Team of the Year icon, a FUT Birthday icon, or a Trophy Titan icon rated 90 or higher. So it's going to be a pretty good SBC. It's going to be an expensive SBC. It's finally another icon SBC. We haven't seen one of those in a little while. So with that being said, that's going to make its appearance here sometime in the next few days, which means that people are going to be submitting their fodder back in to that SBC. So the fodder you have might get taken out of your club, and if you don't have fodder, you're going to be forced to go onto the market to get some of that fodder. Now, that's not the only SBC we're expecting over the next few days. Of course, we already saw Marco Reus, but Gnabry, we do not know if he's coming as an SBC or an objective yet, but we do know that he's in the code. So we have that in the code. Gnabry is coming as an SBC over the course of the next couple of days, and Royce dropped on day 1. I assume they'll give him a couple of days before they drop Gnabry into either objective or SBC. But I think that if he was going to come as an objective, it probably would have come on the Friday. We already saw Dokai come as an objective yesterday. So I don't think that Gnabry is going to come as an objective. I would assume he's going to come more as an SBC. That would be my guess. Nonetheless, those are some SBCs that can bring up the price of fodder. So if you're holding on to any fodder, I would say sell at 6 p.m. UK on the day that any of these SBCs get dropped, like that 90 plus icon SBC, maybe Gnabry, if he is a very desirable card. Royce was a pretty good one today, so we saw a little bit of a spike at 6 p.m. UK, but it was kind of thwarted by all of the packs that were getting opened during this promo. Of course, on Friday, when the new Team of the Season drops, so many people are going out and opening their packs, and that's providing the market with more supply. But in the midweek, there's less packs open, which means that there's more of an opportunity for these cards to spike in price, which is why we always see every time they drop a guaranteed TOTS SBC for a specific league. Last week, it was the Premier League. The 87 rated cards skyrocketed. They went up by about 60 to 80% of their price, and even 85s rose a couple thousand coins before coming back down only just a few hours later. So there's definitely an opportunity to buy right now. They're very low, and there's going to be an opportunity to sell. But those windows, they come and go. It's just when the hype of that SBC is out, a lot of people will rash invest, which is probably not a great idea. And then a lot of other people will just need to have those cards bought off the market to complete the SBC. So you're seeing a lot of profit that could be made in a quick span, and then you're in, you're out, you're done, you made your profit, and you can do the exact same thing the next week. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some of the prices for these Team of the Season Bundesliga players, because we're looking at a very, very inflated market right now for these cards. Now, I tweeted out earlier today, if we head over to my Twitter, I tweeted out that it was a good time to buy some of these TOTS cards. Of course, our Friday trading method always comes in handy. Bellingham was at 7.5 mil. He got down to as low as about 7.3 million coins. And then we had Kimmich, who was at 515K. I think he got as low as about 505. And then we also had Sane down near 100,000 coins. And then if we take a look at those Bundesliga cards, of course, Bellingham has now risen from 7.5 to 9 mil. He was actually extinct for a brief period of time. We're looking at the Sane card, who went from 103 to 125,000 coins. And then we're also looking at the Kimmich card, who went from 515 all the way to 600,000 coins. And of course, those were not the only ones that rose in price. Those were just the ones I tweeted out. It was more of an example of a couple of cards that I thought were going to go up, and it kind of covered all of the budgets. It was, of course, you have the very high budget Jude Bellingham, the medium budget Kimmich, the low budget Sane. So it covered all bases, and that's why I tweeted out those three. But one of them that actually rose the most was De Ligt. It's a 96 rated card, and so those really high rated cards do a lot better than the low rated, because even though these cards still rise into the night, if they're more likely to be packed, they're not going to get as rare, and they're not going to be rising as much, because there's just going to be more cards listed overnight. The reason it works so well is because there's not a lot of people awake. Once Europe goes to sleep, once North America goes to sleep, there's a couple hours where nobody's really on the market, except for some of the smaller market areas like Australia, Asia, all that. With that being said, there's not a ton of people on the market, so these prices are very, very high. And De Ligt is still very high right now, and he continues to go higher, 2.1 mil now. And if we take a look at his hourly graph ever since release, he was down at 1.5 to 1.6 million coins at the time that I tweeted those other cards out. So a very, very good investment if you made it on De Ligt. He was one of the cards that rose the most. And because he is a very, very good center back, but he's also high rated. 96s are much tougher to pack than 90s, 91s, 92s. You're not going to have seen Schlotterbeck rise quite as much as these other cards in terms of percentage. Now, Sane was low rated, but I also was looking at his card, and it's just a really desirable card for players with low budget. It's 4-star with such good stats around it. So it just kind of made sense that he'd rise a little bit into the night, but I understood that he's probably not going to rise quite as much as some of the other guys with that budget. Nonetheless, that is the Friday trading method, but they're going to come down in price. These cards are not going to stay up. If you have any of these cards, of course, you want to sell as soon as you can, because once 6 p.m. content rolls around today, they'll all come back down. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to come all the way down. They're going to come crashing down, but this 8.8 Bellingham is probably going to be closer to 7 million coins by the end of tomorrow. So you're going to see this card drop probably 2 million coins over the course of that period. So it's not a card you want to hold on to. You got to take your profits and get out. And if you have that high a budget, I would not get greedy at a card that is extinct at 9 million. Just take the 8.8 and run. And that kind of goes for any of these cards. So get in, get out, and that is how you make profit on Fridays. If you made your investment from the last video on the Mats Hummels card, you're looking at great profit. It worked out brilliantly. This card was down at about 36,000 coins, and even after content release yesterday, you had a little bit of time, not at this lowest point, to get in, and he continues to go up at 45,000 coins. I think he's low enough to probably rise a little bit more, but at this point, let's take our profits. You're up 9,000 coins. I would go ahead and get out. Of course, that Gnabry SBC that comes out later this week could help it out a little bit more, given the fact that it's German and in Bundesliga, but that hyperlink to Royce is the real reason it's going up. And once people start to get more and more of these Bundesliga cards untradeable, whether it be from a guaranteed team of the season pack or just from a random pack that they get from an objective or an SBC, they're going to start to find other options than Mats Hummels. So I would sell just because people might replace them with the packed cards that they get this week. You don't want them to end up packing Schlotterbeck and getting rid of that Hummels and having that card drop in price. So take your profits on those investments for the compliment links for Marco Reus. We went over some objectives at the beginning of the video, but this one is a little bit trickier. The Bundesliga year in review gives you a Marcus Thuram striker card that's actually pretty solid. It's got 5 stats, 86 and above, and of course he got gets that French link, and then if you complete everything, you also get a 50k pack as well. But the requirements for these objectives are riddles. We've seen it before. It kind of adds a little bit of spice to the game. I like it, but it does get a little bit difficult to figure out what these mean and trying to decode all of these objectives. So if you want to try to figure it out on your own, this is probably the time to click away from the video. But if you want to see what these are, I'm going to explain them to you right now. Now, this was tweeted out over on Twitter by Nepenthes. Sting Like a Bee is 8 games with 4 Dortmund players. Now, you don't have to win 8 games, I don't believe. You just got to play the 8 games with 4 Dortmund players, and you get yourselves that first objective done. So you do get a Bundesliga players pack, which is 3 rare Bundesliga players, 5 common gold Bundesliga players. Not a great reward there, but that's the first one. And then the second one is Celebration at Mua. Hat trick with an Austrian player. If you score 3 goals in a single match with an Austrian player, you will get this done. And this is one of the XP rewards, which is 2,500. Bavarian Victory. The start of the season came packed with action, one-sided match with one team bagging a half a dozen goals, recreate their dominance. And with this one, it is score 6 goals in one game with a Bayern player. You need 6 goals with one Bayern player. It doesn't seem like there is any requirement other than semi-pro on squad battle. I wouldn't try to go out and score 6 goals in one match in a Foot Champs game with the same player. That would be a little bit difficult. So you'd probably get that done quite easily on semi-pro in squad battles. The next one is Terrific Tie. With this one, you never give up, even when it looks like it's over. There's always a chance. This team showed their bullish side with the amazing late comeback. Can you solve this riddle? This one is score 3 goals with a Red Bull Leipzig players. 3 goals with Red Bull Leipzig players. That's it. The next one is Relegation Battle, the final XP requirement. And one team from the capital has had a tough season so far. Shoot them to their season win total at the end of match day 31 to solve this riddle. And for this one, you need to score and win with a Hertha Berlin player. Score and win, and that's it. Next up is top 5. At the end of match day 31, these 5 clubs are at the top of the table. Include 2 players from each of these clubs in the next 10 matches. This one is a little bit more easy. You can kind of understand what it is. But the 5 teams are Bayern, Dortmund, Union Berlin, Freiburg, and Leipzig. So you need 2 players from each of those teams. So that's 10 total players. The next one is Iron Strength. The hint for this one is that you need, this team has delighted football fans with their amazing performance this season. This memorable match was important because it ended their 5-game winless streak. Can you solve this riddle? Score 2 and win the game with a Union Berlin player. So you can probably get that done at the same time as top 5. In fact, you can combine a lot of these together if you're smart. You can combine, having having a Red Bull Leipzig player in the team with 4 Dortmund players and an Austrian player, and a Bayern player, and then just play one squad battle match and get so much of it done at once. So that's what I would do, is try to combine them and don't do them one at a time. Do as many at once as possible. But remember, you have to do it on squad battles, minimum semi-pro. You can also do it on Foot Champs or Division Rivals to complete any of those objectives. And big thanks to Nepenthes for tweeting that out. Of course, I just used that picture, but it was Nepenthes who tweeted it out. Let's go ahead and end today's video with a couple of packs and see if we can't get ourselves a Bundesliga blue card. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the videos recently, not only pack openings, but also with the trading tips. But the pack openings have been a lot of fun. We just packed ourselves David Alaba, so that's not a terrible 81 plus times 2. Good fodder for Marco Reus, who comes in at about 300,000 coins, so that's pretty good. 81 plus times 2. Let's see if we can get another 86 in this pack. It's going to be German. It's going to be a center attacking mid. It's going to be Florian Wirtz, who is somehow not in team of the season. He's actually been incredible for Bayer Leverkusen. I think he's one of the most underrated youngsters in the world right now. Florian Wirtz is a baller, but he does not get the credit he deserves. And to be honest, team of the season this year has been a little bit more focused on the big players. Oh, we just packed 91 rated Robert Lewandowski. Now, this is the cheapest he has ever been. He's only 27,000 coins, but we'll definitely take that for some fodder, and an 84 Di Maria as well. Some big fodder in these packs, but no blues quite yet. Of course, we got the blue in the 83 times 15 earlier, but it wasn't a very good one. Let's see what we can get in final pack here. it's going to be Frankie de Jong, 87. I mean, not bad at all, and not a bad way to end it. A couple of back-to-back Bayern players that were pretty high rated. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to slap a like on the video. If you made it this far in the video, the secret comment word of the day is going to be De Jong. Go ahead and comment his name in the comments below, and I'll make sure to drop a heart in appreciation for you making it to the end of my videos, because that is what helps this channel do well. So I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video and not only doing that, but making it to the end of it. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.